Hello, 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 hello. I guess I'm on here playing with music. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing with music. But I want to say hello to everybody. Good evening. And I wanted to start off tonight. I want to send my condolences to the families who lost loved ones due to this tragic shooting in St. Louis, another school shooting. And I just wanted to go over some things with everybody, and we're gonna come back and talk about some of the issues. But we're gonna play this video first, and then I'll come back and go over some things about the case. All right, let's go. But this is the suspect. Uh, this on this on the video now. In the school shooting.
In a deadly school shooting in St. Louis, authorities now say the parents of that 19-year-old who had just graduated from that high school last year, well, now the parents say they alerted police to his AR-15 style rifle that had been taken away. But tonight, authorities say somehow he got the weapon back. Of course, the question now, how did this happen? And ABC's Alex Perez in St. Louis again tonight.
Tonight, St. Louis authorities revealing that 19-year-old gunman who killed a teacher and a student at his alma mater had a long history of mental health struggles that his family tried to help him with.
They've done everything that they could possibly have done, but sometimes that's not enough.
Orlando Harris's family telling investigators they had him committed to a psychiatric facility multiple times, even monitored his mail. And when his mother learned he had a gun, she notified authorities.
They worked with our department to transfer that to an adult who could legally possess one.
Investigators believe it's the same AR-15 style rifle seen here that was used in Monday morning's attack, but officials don't know how Harris got it back. Police still won't say how exactly he got in, only that it was a, quote, forced entry into the school. Killed in the shooting, 15-year-old sophomore Alexandria Bell and 61-year-old health teacher Jean Kushka, her daughter in disbelief.
My mom was my best friend. I think we're all still in shock. And I think it brings a peace of mind hearing all of these stories from her students and to know how much she was loved.
4 other students grazed by gunfire. Today, police indicating the gunman may have had specific targets in mind.
And David, tonight the big question authorities are still trying to answer is how exactly that rifle ended up back in the hands of the shooter. The ATF is tracing the serial number on that gun and also working to determine how exactly he got all of that ammo. David?
Yeah, the gun itself was really puzzling, though, how he got his hands back on the weapon if it was supposedly taken away. I know you'll continue to follow this, Alex. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Wow. This is heartbreaking. It's like, here we go again with another school shooting. When is it enough? You're tired of hearing about it. I know I am. This gunman went to the school last year, graduated, but now his mom's saying he had mental health issues. And they tried to seek help for him. So my thing was, when you alerted the police that he had this AR-15 style rifle, why the police didn't take it from him, knowing that he's got mental health issues? So that makes you wonder, is that something that the police officers need to be doing? If somebody is alerting you that my child got mental health problems and they have this weapon, and I want you to take it, then why not take the weapon from the child? So at least it's not in their possession. That would help reduce some of the crime in different cities. They say the mother did the best she could. My thing is, are we missing the warning signs? I went over some last night. I'll go back over them again on this one. Are we missing the warning signs? 3 people are deceased, teacher, young lady, and they killed him. So he don't have to worry about shooting nobody else or going to trial. How did he get 600 rounds of ammunition and nobody alerted the police that you got this type of ammo? You're not on the battlefield. Why do you even have a AR-15 style rifle? I don't know how was he able to purchase that. So it's a lot of questions to me that need to be asked and answered. But something has got to give. They keep saying, take the guns, take the guns. But we as parents got to control your child because it starts at home first. What are you doing to monitor to see what your children are out here doing? Should parents be held accountable? I felt like if they reported it, they shouldn't, because the police should have stepped in and did more than just say, I'm going to make a report. They should have took the weapon. But if a parent have not alerted the police that their child has this type of weapon, I think that's another whole ball game. And the story I covered last night, the parents were saying that they wasn't aware. And I think people do give warning signs. It's just that you miss the warning signs. So we have to bring awareness. You are missing the warning signs. They're there. You're just missing it. So it's bringing awareness, and people need to be more cautious, not only about their children, but your family kids. It's like it takes everybody to raise children nowadays. Back in the day, everybody in the neighborhood would watch your child. You just didn't get out of line because your mom would know, or at least the neighborhood I grew up in. The lady next door be watching, the lady across the street watching, the one up the street. When the streets light came on, we had to be home on the porch. My mother didn't play that. Now you grew up, and I was sort of afraid. I didn't want to get a spanking, no. So I was always this, I got to get home. But nowadays, I think some of the children are out of control because their parents are not disciplining their children. And you're allowing your children to control you instead of you controlling your child. But this young man, he graduated. I didn't like the comment he made, but he did make the comment. Let me see, what was that? So what I wanted to do is go over some of the points that they did make. Oh, he was heard say, the gunman was heard saying that he was tired of everybody. What made him go to the school, I don't know. They said he felt like he went there to target specific people. The video showed police helping terrorize students escape, and I thought that was great of them because they would seem like they were on the rooftop trying to get out of the school. I'm just glad. It could have been worse. I'm glad it wasn't worse than this, that somebody stepped in and took him out. I hate to say it that way, but they saved lives that day. If you got that type of ammunition, somebody saved some lives. I wish everybody's life could have been saved. And that's why my heart goes out to the family. I send my condolences, and I'm praying for the families who's lost loved ones, because that is definitely a tragic. Quite sure they will feel the hurt and pain from that from time to come. So now what I wanted to do is go over some of the as I had watched some of that, I was looking at some of the students. They were emotionally messed up. A lot of students were um, emotionally just messed up from that tragic. It's trauma that brings on stress, anxiety. I can imagine what those children are going through. My heart goes out to the children at school because that's heartbreaking that you can't even go to school and get a good education without somebody trying to interrupt your classroom. So, and then they were saying that he had mental health issues. So, what are the warning signs of these mental health issues? Because I'm quite sure with all the shootings we've had in the past, it's a lot of them got mental health issues. My thing is, what is being done? It's one thing that we've all identified the problem. Uh, what is being done to correct the problem? Yeah, what is being done with people that do have mental health issues? I know they're getting treatment. Some are and some not. But for the ones that are not getting treatment, are you keeping an eye on them? Are you making sure they take their medication? And for those that need treatment that's not getting treatment, somebody need to bring awareness and try to talk that person into going to get some type of counseling. So we won't be faced with tragic like this at our school systems all over. So what I came up with is one of the warning signs is the person has lack of remorse. That means that they don't care about what they do. They don't care about who they hurt. It doesn't matter to them. They lack remorse. That's the sign that somebody needs to be watching you, especially when it comes to situations like this and the warning signs of being missed. Uh, you have children, you have grandchildren, you have the neighbors' kids, you have kids all around you, like 24/7, and maybe some people don't pick up on what their children are doing, but you have picked up on it. Do you say something to the person? I think if you're saying it in uh, a banner that's receiving and you're nice and kind about it, that they probably could receive it or be aware of it, or just say, not going to say anything to hurt your feelings or your child feelings, but I will say something like, are you aware that your child do this? Do you think that's something you may want to keep an eye out on when it comes to children? Act of violence. The shooter did he performed. This was real big. He just uh, it's an act of violence, and it could have been way bigger than what it was. The person has a history of emotional, social, and mental disturbance. And they did say that the shooter had mental health issues going on. So, lack of emotional intelligence. They feel like they don't fit in with their peer group. So if you got a child that's sitting at home all the time, that's not good, and you don't have any friends. A lot of times when people don't have any friends and they just like a loner, they to themselves, you don't have any friends. Uh, Sometimes you have to be aware of that. At least check on the person to see where they're at mentally, especially when it comes to children. The person could be obsessed with weapons. They love them guns. Uh, the shooter tend to study how to build explosives, or they're really enthused about different type of weapons and what the weapons can do to people. something you want to sort of keep an eye out on, especially when it comes to our teenagers and our children. Lack of empathy. Uh, they have no empathy when it comes to decision making. Unhealthy display of violence, lack of sense of healthy conscience, usually don't understand the teaching of what goes around come around. So no meaningful friends. It means they don't have another one is friends. They don't have friends. Nobody to hang out with or go play ball with or do different activities with. So if that's your child and they don't have any friends, that's not a good picture for a child. They become a loner if they don't make friends. Hard for them to make friends. So maybe you can invite and do a pajama party, not necessarily a pajama party, but go to the movies and take the kids, or do something special with kids in the neighborhood so that your child will have somebody to play with, to interact with, so they're not just sitting at home by themselves all the time, because it could create a problem down the road. High family dysfunction. So a lot of these kids may come from a dysfunctional family. People don't know their family dysfunctional; they just think it's normal behavior. But and then a lot of people pick up and know they got dysfunctional families. They lack healthy brain development, environment that support positive emotional health. So they're dysfunctional. They're not doing things in a positive manner. They're always negative. And so that's something you want to be mindful of. People just being negative and not being positive. All of this, I want to say, possibly could have been prevented. Uh, I think they said the parents had did what they could have done. I'm not sure why the police didn't take the child's weapon at that time, because they had mental health issues. Maybe that's something that the legislator should be focusing on. I mean, I hear them saying, take the gun, take the guns. Yeah, well, why aren't the police taking the guns out of mental health people, especially when their families are calling saying this person got a gun and they've been in a mental hospital? That should have been a red flag that this person does not need this weapon. And then they say, well, they took the weapon, but some kind of way they got the weapon back. Okay, I don't know how they got the weapon back, but authorities were alert. So the parents did try to seek help for their child. I think, and that's my opinion, something needs to be set up. If the parents want the weapon taken, I feel like, I know the child may be 18, but if they've been in a mental ward, that should be something that they should be able to petition the court about taking the weapon. Especially if they've been in some type of mental ward. They're showing that they could relapse anytime, that they're not mentally stable to have a weapon. So I guess I see things a little different. I always say it starts at home. Uh, be mindful of what your children are doing. Check their rooms. You have every right to, as long as you're paying the mortgage or paying the rent. You can go to any room in your house. Maybe you don't want any confrontation with your child, so do it while they at school or do it while they gone. Just go in there and snoop. You know, you have every right to do that, Because if it's something not going right with your child, you need to be the first to find out, especially and they up under the same roof as you. You know your child more than the teachers do. You're with your child 24/7. You raise them. You should know them a little more. You can't put everything on the teachers in the school system to raise your child. Some of it starts with at home. And I think if people would pull together as a community, things could get better, way better than what they are. If you see something, say something. Have a conversation with your children. If they have friends that are talking about things that are real negative about hurting somebody or uh, things of that nature, then they should be freely to come to you as a parent and say, "Mom, I heard this," or "Dad, I heard this." I know they're my friends, but they ought to feel comfortable coming to a parent. And then maybe you need to step into action instead of just saying we're going to brush it under the rug. No, we don't need to brush anything else up under the rug, because this is what happens when people start brushing things under the rug and nobody's dealing with the issue at hand. So you find yourself children out here wanting to kill other children, wanting to shoot up the school. It doesn't make sense. It's not right. It's not right. And hopefully someone will step in and change some of the ways things are done. I mean, something does have to give. I think there's just a suggestion. My suggestion would be, if I know that my child got a weapon and they don't need to have it, and I call the police and I'm asking the police, they got this weapon, I feel like the police needs to take it to get the weapon off the streets. At least make it hard for them, especially knowing that they got some type of mental health crisis or have had some type of mental health crisis. Because you don't go in and come out and you okay. A lot of times you're dealing with those type of issues the rest of your life. So that's something that people just need to be mindful of. So my heart goes out to the family who lost loved ones. And I say the police that ended the shooting, I commend them. That was a job well done. So we definitely want to take our hats off to the police department in St. Louis, Missouri. They did a wonderful job. They saved a whole lot of lives, and they deserve a pat on the back for that. I think that was a job very well done. And I try to give credit where credit is due. They had some officers who really cared about their community and the children at the school. And I take my hats off to them. They did a wonderful job. And they didn't allow this gunman to take more lives as he could have taken. So, dispatch police officers, you did a wonderful job. You saved lives. And that's what, to me, policing is all about, especially when it comes to our children in high school. All right, maybe the conversation, you can have the conversation with your children, let them know, if they're with people and they're telling them different things, is, you hear things, say something. Don't just overlook it or brush it under the rug. Have that type of environment at home where your children can come and talk to you, or find somebody else that they're close to that they can talk to. Always leave that door open. So I welcome your opinion. I want everybody to hit my subscribe button and hit my like and leave a comment. I love your comments. So I would definitely want to comment on how do you feel about some of the things I've said today, or Maybe you have other suggestions. They are definitely welcome. All right, that's it. Have a great night.